Hello, MathTalino students! Welcome to MathTalinoClassroom. Ngayong araw, pag-aaralan natin ang divisibility rules ng 2, 5, at 10 or yung mga dapat tandaan kung kailan masasabi na ang numero ay divisible ng 2, 5, at 10. We'll start with a simple activity. Answer the following questions. Each correct answer is paired with a letter that will be put on the blanks below until a mystery word will be unlocked. Are you ready? Press pause after a question is asked if you wish to have more time to answer. For number 1, which item can be shared equally by 2 persons? Correct. 2 persons can share 30 crayons equally and they will receive 15 crayons each. For number 2, which item can be shared equally by 2 persons? Right. 2 persons can share 96 coloring pens equally, and they will receive 48 coloring pens each. For number 3, which item can be shared equally by 5 persons? Good. 5 persons can share 35 wooden blocks equally, and they will receive 7 wooden blocks each. For number 4, which item can be shared equally by 10 persons? Nice! 10 persons can share 60 coins equally, and they will receive 6 coins each. Well done! Our mystery word is wash. Do you know that in times of pandemic like COVID-19, it is important to keep ourselves clean? One way to do this is to wash our hands thoroughly with soap to keep off the viruses we come in contact with. It can be a big help in stopping the spread of the virus. So kids, stay clean and be safe. Going back in our previous activity, we have known that 30 items can be divided equally by 2 persons. 96 items can be divided equally by 2 persons. 35 items can be shared equally by 5 persons. And 60 items can be shared equally by 10 persons. The phrase can be shared equally or can be divided equally may be replaced by the phrase is divisible by. What is meant by a number being divisible? A first number is divisible by a second number if the first number can be divided equally by the second number without remainder. In other words, dapat 0 ang makuha nating remainder pagkatapos nating i-divide ang dalawang number. Meron bang mas madaling gawin para masabi na ang isang number ay divisible by 2, 5, or 10? Simulan natin sa divisibility rule by 2. Alin sa mga numero na nasa box ang divisible by 2? Isa-isahin natin. Ang 81 ay hindi divisible by 2 kasi merong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 612 ay divisible by 2 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 53 naman ay hindi divisible by 2 kasi merong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 34 ay divisible by 2 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 105 naman ay hindi divisible by 2 kasi merong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 136 ay divisible by 2 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 97 naman ay hindi divisible by 2. Meron tayong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 28 naman ay divisible by 2 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Ang 19 ay hindi divisible by 2. Meron tayong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. At panghuli, ang 120 ay divisible by 2 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 2. Observe those numbers that are divisible by 2. What are their last digits? Correct. These numbers end with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, or they are even numbers. Whereas, the numbers that end with 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, or odd numbers, are not divisible by 2. Therefore, we say that a number is divisible by 2 if it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. With this important fact, mas madali na nating malaman if ang number ay divisible by 2 o hindi. For instance, let's put a check if a number is divisible by 2. Looking at the numbers given, only 3,550 and 30,814 are divisible by 2 because these numbers end with a 0 or 4. Let's proceed to the divisibility rule by 5. Alin sa mga numero na nasa box ang divisible by 5? Isa-isahin din natin. Ang 81 ay hindi divisible by 5 kasi merong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Ganon din ang 612. Hindi siya divisible by 5 kasi merong remainder 2 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Same with 53 kasi merong remainder 3 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. At saka yung 34, meron kasing remainder 4 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Ngunit ang 105 ay divisible by 5 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Ang 136 ay hindi divisible by 5 kasi merong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Same with 97, meron siyang remainder 2 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Same with 28, meron siyang remainder 3 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. At yung 19, meron siyang remainder 4 kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Ngunit ang 120 ay divisible by 5 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 5. Observe those numbers that are divisible by 5. What are their last digits? Correct. These numbers end with 0 or 5, whereas the numbers that end with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, or 9 are not divisible by 5. Therefore, we say that a number is divisible by 5 if it ends with 0 or 5. With this important fact, mas madali na nating malaman if ang number ay divisible by 5 o hindi. For instance, let's put a check mark if a number is divisible by 5. Looking at the numbers given, only 5,310, 2,305, and 11,225 are divisible by 5 because these numbers end with a 0 or 5. Lastly, let's proceed to the divisibility rule by 10. Alin sa mga numero na nasa box ang divisible by 10? Isa-isahin natin ang mga numero. Ang 81 ay hindi divisible by 10 kasi merong remainder 1 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Same with 612. Hindi siya divisible by 10 kasi merong remainder 2 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Ganon din si 53. Meron siyang remainder 3 kapag i-divide natin ito by 10. Yung 34, meron ding remainder 4 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Yung 105, merong remainder 5 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Yung 136 naman ay merong remainder 6 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Yung 97 naman, merong remainder 7 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Ganon din ang 28. Meron siyang remainder 8 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. At yung 19, meron siyang remainder 9 kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Ngunit, ang 120 ay divisible by 10 kasi 0 ang remainder kapag dinivide natin ito by 10. Now, observe the only number inside the box that is divisible by 10. What is its last digit? Correct. This number ends with 0, whereas the numbers that do not end with 0 are not divisible by 10. Therefore, we say that a number is divisible by 10 if it ends with 0. With this important fact, mas madali na nating malaman if ang number ay divisible by 10 o hindi. For instance, let's put a check if a number is divisible by 10. Looking at the numbers given, only 11,310 and 35,570 are divisible by 10 since 0 ang last digit nila. Let's have more practice on this. Put a check mark to the corresponding box if a number given is divisible by 2, 5, or 10. You may check more than one box or leave them unchecked. You can pause the video if you wish to have more time in answering. Now, let us discuss the answers. For number 1, the given number ends with 8. So, it is divisible only by 2 but not by 5 or 10. For number 2, the given number ends with 5. So, it is divisible only by 5 but not by 2 or 10. For number 3, the given number ends with 0. So, it is divisible by 2, 5, or 10. For number 4, the given number ends with 3. So, it is not divisible by 2, 5, or 10. And for number 5, the given number ends with 6. So, it is divisible only by 2, but not by 5 or 10. Do you have any questions about our lesson? If none, test yourself by answering the following. You may pause the video for a while to answer, and comment down your answer when you are done. That's all for today, class. Goodbye!